Hey everyone, just wanted to post a little update on this long since mentioned 2332cc build I've got going. I guess sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, but I've been slow getting it together because just number one, I've had some things that I wasn't happy with and wanted to make changes to. For instance, the bearing clearance, or not the bearing clearance, but the bearing fitment in the case matching to the oil holes. It took me forever to put it back to its short block form, but basically I ground out the channel in the front main thrust bearing of the crank, as well as the other, I want to say it was number 2 bearing, so that I'll be happier and I'll feel like I have more confidence that it will be lubricated when and if I ever fire this thing up. The other sticking point which I've had is the pistons and cylinders that I purchased for this many moons ago, which those are Moly pistons and cylinders. And the cylinders themselves I'm not having any problem with, but I've been unhappy with the pistons. I never could bring myself to throw it together with the 4.5 gram difference in the pistons from the lightest to the heaviest, and I spent a lot of time grinding on the pistons to the point where I don't know that they haven't been weakened, just to get them within 1 gram of each other. And so I'm stepping back, taking way more time, but I want to know as much as I can with as much certainty as I can when I run the thing it's going to hold together. And so I may be looking at getting a set of WAZZZUPPP high-end pistons, or maybe some JPM pistons from either CB Performance or AA pistons and cylinders. So my analysis paralysis, or paralysis panalysis as I like to call it, has me stuck just a little bit. I'm getting better here, but other things like making sure that the rotating assembly turns freely in the case. I spent a long time matching the cam, which is the Engel FK46, making sure that it turned freely. It was already clearanced when I purchased it, but it still made contact with the bearing housing in the middle cam bearing. And I spent a lot of time clearancing both the bearing itself and the case and the cam, and I've got it to where it turns freely. So if I come back here and just start moving the flywheel with the rods hanging out, you'll notice I have rubber bands in them to keep these H-beam rods from slicing into the rather expensive and these days unobtainium CB aluminum case. But you're not seeing any, or I'm not feeling any, and you're not hearing any clicking, which previously was a problem until I clearanced everything. And this is while minimal clearance is there, and I've got the flywheel in play set. If I were to take either the crank pulley or the flywheel off, I would not want to rotate the engine, because that, as you know, slides back and forth and can start having the cam and rod to cam touching. And so I've gotten rid of that, and this is the operating attitude, if you will, of the engine, so that when I put the cylinders on, the thing's going to be horizontally oriented, I'm confident that I won't have that hitting anymore. But it's like I say, it's tight. So just wanted to kind of give you guys a good feel for where I'm at. And when I say tight, I mean the engine itself is rotating beautifully. There's no tightness there, but the clearances, with this much crank, it's an 84 millimeter crank, and 5.5 inch H-beam rods. You got to make sure. One thing I don't regret is spending the time to do this right, though I've taken way too long. But hopefully from here, things will get better, and I will decide what I'm going to do with my pistons and cylinders and get this thing going so that I can give you guys the fire up video with those IDAs, those 48 IDAs that I've got that have the 44 millimeter Venturis, 180 main jets, 200 air corrections, and the F2 emulsion tubes. So those with the Super Pro heads, the CB Super Pro heads, and the FK46 cam, I really hope this thing holds together and doesn't go pop the first time I fire it up. But it might. You always carry that risk, and all these parts, sometimes these expensive parts, if you don't take your time, put them together right, you end up with a pile of oily, broken parts. And that's not what I want to happen. So hopefully we'll get this resolved. I'll let you guys know when and if I get those other pistons. Right now they're not available, the supply chain being what it is. And also I'm waiting on those 4.5 quart deep sumps that CB used to sell and hasn't been available for a while. Waiting for one of those to come available so I can put it on the bottom of the engine. I can't close this up on the bottom until I have my sump. So anyway, there's the MSD distributor. I have a couple of more parts to order. I need the MSD coil, the matching coil for this 8485 distributor. I don't know if you can see it there. And I need a spark box, which I hope to get the MSD 7AL2 or whatever it's called. And a few more odds and ends, but hopefully I can give you guys an update and get this thing going. I'm desperately slow, and I do apologize. Things will get better, but I want to make sure they're right. So appreciate you guys sticking through the video. If you have any comments, suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Give me a like and subscribe to the channel if this helps you and you want to see more VW related content on our air-cooled VWs. So appreciate you all, love you all, and God bless everybody. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.